How sweet the sound that they say like me. I see through many danger, toils, and snare, through many Amen. And let every heart say amen. Amen. Truly the Lord is good. Yes. All the time. And all the time, God is good. Amen. We choose to draw your attention for a little while today. We want to go to the second chapter of Corinthians. Second chapter of Corinthians, in chapter 9. Second chapter of Corinthians, chapter 9, and we would like to begin reading at verse 6. Second Corinthians, chapter 9, begin reading at verse 6. And when you have found it, I ask if you will stand for the reading of God's holy word. We stand for the national anthem when it is sung before games. We stand when the President of the United States makes his entrance into a room. And the Lord is more precious and more highly than either. And I believe that we as people of God need to start giving God the reverence that due his name. Amen. Amen. 2 Corinthians chapter 2. 2 Corinthians chapter 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, begin reading at verse 6. Are we there? Reading at verse 6, but this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he's purpose in his heart, So let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. And God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that ye always having all sufficiency in all things may abound to every good work. Amen. You may be seated. Our subject that we'd like to talk on would be the principle in giving. Principles in giving. Amen. Amen. As I spoke briefly on last Sunday, we talked about in many places, many churches, many of your mega churches, that is, they speak oftenly about how the members are to get wealth. They talk about how you can get rich overnight. They talk about how you can go out and buy you a brand new car, Cadillac. Come on, somebody.
Yes.
And they teaches you how to go and buy you a big house. But I'm focusing on the principle of giving. The key, and if you don't hear and take in anything else that I say today, take what I'm about to tell you in right now. The key to receiving is giving. Touch your neighbor and say, guys, say the key to receiving is giving. Now, somebody would say, guys, if I ain't got nothing, how can I give? Yes, we have deceived ourselves too long. Everybody got something to give. Y'all ain't gonna pray for me. Everybody has something to give. You may not have $1 million, but you got love. I wish I had a witness. You may not have money, but you may have some time. Y'all ain't ready for this. I can see that now. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, it's not what you possess. It's what you offer.
Make it plain. Make it plain.
Now, look at here. Now, let me just share something with you, because we've been deceived for so long. Did you not know that we are not supposed to come before the Lord in this house empty-handed? We're not supposed to come into this house empty-handed. I'm gonna help you just for a minute. This is a bomb. I had a bomb for you today. It'll explode after a while.
Come on.
Did you not know that we can never say, I ain't got nothing? Because the Bible tells us that God has never made a mouth that He did not make provisions for it to eat. Now, if God has told us that He is all we need, and if you ain't got Him, whose fault is it? It's your own fault. Philippians, I think it's 4:13. Come on, help me preach something. And my on, somebody know what that scripture said. And my God shall supply. Come on now. Now, if God is supplying all of your needs, and you come in here and ain't got nothing to give him, with that picture. Now, here's what my theory of the problem is. We have it, but we are spending it for the wrong cause. Yes. Now this is just a perfect example. I'm not saying nobody here doing this, but this is just an example that I'm giving you to help you to understand today. Let's suppose you went to work. You need to figure out or to realize who it was that gave you strength and health. I wish I had some witness up in here. Who gave you the help, strength to go to a job? Who even made it possible for you to even have a job? The unemployment rate is still high. You could have been a victim of being unemployed. But because you're a child of the King, because God got that hedge of protection around you. Did y'all know what Malachi 3 said? I'm about through now. Y'all sleeping today. Malachi chapter 3, he said, with a man, God.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. Run me through. Oh, Jesus. Tithes and offerings. And now this here is going to be another message at another time. Did you not know that the tithes do not belong to us? No. That's not now. And you know, you're talking about the courts and going to jail. We think that the prison system holds the burglars and robbers. But if you want to find the most fullest place of robbers and burglars, go to church. I'm talking Bible now. That's here in the book. What do you mean? What do you mean by go to church? Well, you got a lot of people in church who is not doing what thus saith the Lord. If we are not paying our tithes, you robbing God. Now you may get by. Come on and help me preach something. But you won't get away. Your neighbor, oh Jesus. Your neighbor may not know you're not doing it. But God knows what you're doing. And there's no need of you trying to put on no show in front of me because you ain't got to excite me. I got to do the same thing. Now, how can we resolve that? Can we resolve? Yes. If we have not been obedient, let us start being obedient. Did you know God, as long as God is allowing breath to enter your body, as long as you having a heartbeat, come on somebody. As long as you still on top of the ground instead of ground on top of you. There is a chance of our being saved from our wrongness. What do you mean, guys? The Bible tells me in Corinthians, I believe it's 5:17, it said, if any man be in Christ, he is, come on and help me now, a new creature. All things are passed away and become, all things become new. Well, have it with me? That's when we can get on what they call the good foot. Yeah, that's when we make up in our mind and say, well, I'm going to do what thus said the Lord. Because see, the Sunday school lesson this morning was talking about giving. And you know, I classified, and y'all might get mad with me today, but that's all right, because see, God gave me this message. He gave me this on the pulpit. There are 3 categories of people.
Yes, Lord.
Touch your neighbor and say, listen up.
Listen up. Listen up.
One
I'm going to listen to you.
is a giver.
All right now.
Is a receiver. Come on, somebody. And the third is a keeper. I'm going to break it down to you so you can chew it. Come on, somebody. What is the first one I say was a giver. That's the person who has a willing heart to give folks. Did you not know the Bible said the poor you have with you always?
Always.
Let me tell you something else about the poor. The Bible said, he that giveth to the poor lendeth. Y'all know what lendeth means? Lendeth to the Lord. That means that if you lend somebody some money, y'all looking for it back, ain't you? Y'all need to wake up in this house, act like you're alive even if you ain't. I say, if you lend somebody something, you are expecting it to come back. Now, if you give, now let me just preach. If I give you something, it's yours. I don't want it back. Now, if you tell me to lend you $100, and I lend you $100, until the 3rd of the month, I'm looking for my $100 back. The book says, he that lendeth to the Lord, he that giveth to the poor, lendeth to the Lord. Did you not know you can't beat God giving? God is a type of man that gives more than we give him. Did you not know that God is able to bless you 100-fold or 60-fold? There was time, I know everybody in here possibly can testify and has a clue and a testimony that you can give stating that you gave something to somebody with love in your heart. And sometime before you can get home, God will turn around and double bless you. But you know what we're supposed to do? Instead of us saying, oh, I done hit the jackpot. I scratched this here ticket off and I just... It was the Lord. It was the Lord that giveth. It was the Lord that made the way for you. And our lesson is talking today the principle of giving. In order for us is to receive. You know, most times people always want to be on the receiving end. But you know, I'd rather be on the giving end any day than to be on the receiving end. Let me break that down. Somebody still didn't say amen. Well, if you are on the receiving end, that means your hand is always out. If your hands are always out, you're waiting for somebody else to put something in. But if you're the one that putting in, the giver that is, that means you already got something. The principle in giving is that we are to be Christ-like. John 3:16 tells us that God so loved the world that that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And if God could give us, if God could give us the least we could give him is our best. Now, I've been preaching for 34 years, and I've been telling this from time to time all throughout my ministry.
Yes, Lord, yes.
That I've challenged some people, and I've had many of them to be bold enough to come back and give me their testimony.
Yes, Lord.
I said, well, preacher, I'm not giving, I can't afford to pay my tithes.
All right.
I said, well, if you had, let me tell you, you can't afford not to pay them.
Yes,
Because my brother had a little story one time in my early ministry. He was saying that he was listening to my message of giving and preaching and tithing, and one day he said he came to church with a couple of $100 in his pocket, and he paid his little dues and whatnot, and thought he had given a good portion in the church. I got up preaching about tithings. He said, well, I know I ain't gave no tenth, and I don't think I'm going to do it today.
hallelujah.
And before service was over, the Spirit led me to tell the church that I didn't know who I was talking to, that if you don't give it to the Lord, you're going to wind up giving it to somebody. Now let me explain that, because somebody didn't catch that. If you hold me, Jesus. You hold me, Jesus. If you don't give God what due him, time out, I got to pay my light bill in the morning. They might cut me off. Yes. Even if you pay your light bill.
All right.
Think you got some money left over? No, it ain't going to be something else. It's going to be a pain. You wind up going to the doctor and had to pay going in. Somebody ain't catching it. If you don't give it to the Lord, you're going to give it to somebody. The doctor don't take it, or somebody don't take it. That old hoopty that we riding in. Come on, somebody. It's gonna break down on you right in the middle of the road. You got to pay the repairman. Somebody gonna get it. I'll really give to the Lord, knowing that He is able to multiply that I give Him back to me. And then you need to give it willingly, cheerfully. You don't need to give it and talking about grubbing and griping about what you give. If you're going to gripe about it, you might well to keep it. Because did you not know God don't want our leftovers? God wants our best. Then I said give it cheerfully. Then you need to give it regularly. Did you not know that they got a saying out, you can't beat God giving you no matter how hard you try. Here in our lesson this morning, in the Sunday school lesson, we find that Moses had gotten the word from God to tell the people is to give, that the tabernacle could be built. People was cheerfully and willingly and joyfully ready to support the ministry. But you're also going to have some that's going to be selfish. Some is going to say, well, I ain't giving this and I ain't giving that. It ought to have been enough in the treasure already for this and that. It is not up to us to complain or talk about what's in the treasure, especially when you didn't put much or nothing in the treasure. But God, if God asks you or tells you, and somebody says, well, how did he tell you? Because he didn't tell me nothing. Well, God got many ways of talking to you.
All right. All right.
He talks to the preachers. He'll speak to you through a dream or visions. But the problem that we have the most is people are not listening.
Yes, sir.
They're not listening.
Hallelujah.
But I tell people to don't be judgmental, but just check your own records.
Right now.
Ask yourself, what have I given the Lord lately? Have I given him my best? Have I given him what he been asking me for? We found that